Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WikiTree Challenge reveal for Mark Thompson, challenge number 8. I'm here with Azure Robinson, and we were hoping that Mark will be joining us shortly. So Azure is trying to contact him. But in the meantime, welcome, and let me just share my screen so we can get started. So we have. Let's see, Anne Fiordalisi's in the chat, and if anyone else who's in the chat there, say hello. We're doing it a little bit earlier today than often we do our reveals at 8 o'clock Eastern time, but we've had to move things around, so it is noon Eastern time, and so hopefully that doesn't throw too many people off. But anyways, welcome everyone who's watching it live. Welcome to everyone who's watching it afterwards on demand, and we will go forward and see what we found for our friend Mark. Okay, and there's John Tyner has joined us as well. Hey there, John, how are you doing? From Ireland. So this is WikiTree Challenge number 8, the 8th one of 2025. And as you can see, our guest is Mark Thompson. So Mark is a professional genealogist and public speaker specializing in the application of artificial intelligence to genealogy. As the co-host of the Family History AI show, along with Steve, he podcasts alongside Steve Little, sorry. Mark helps genealogists bridge the gap between high technology and their family history research. With a background in executive IT leadership, Mark brings a unique perspective to the rapidly evolving field of AI-assisted genealogy. He currently serves as president of the Victoria Genealogical Society and chairs their DNA Special Interest Group. A member of the Association of Professional Genealogists, Mark is a frequent presenter on technology-centric genealogy topics, including AI, genetic genealogy, and family archiving. When not exploring family histories, he enjoys photographing nature in his home province of British Columbia, Canada. So welcome, and I'm so happy that we were able to do the WikiTree Challenge for another fellow Canadian. Great guy and presenter. So if this is your first time with the WikiTree Challenge, you might wonder what we were talking about. What is the WikiTree Challenge? So the WikiTree Challenge is, let me just find the wiki. I just had the link open and I must have just closed it. There. What is the WikiTree Challenge? The WikiTree Challenge, every week or every month now, we do the WikiTree Challenge. We have a special guest, and the guest star, of course, this month was Mark Thompson, and we grow their tree by adding more profiles to connect from Mark out to adding new people to the tree, new branches, and we don't just go back like a pedigree, we go broad. And the measure of that is called the CC7, or Close Connection 7. And you wonder what so the connection count, how does that work? CC1, or the connection count at 1, is people who are in your immediate family. So your siblings, your parents, your siblings, your children, your spouse. That's CC1. Then at the second degree, people who are 1 degree away from all of those people who are 2 steps away from you. So your grandparents or your grandchildren or your siblings, spouses, and so on. And so as you go forward, as you go deeper and deeper, you can see that you could go up straight 7 generations as part of the CC7. You can go down 7 generations, or you could go wide. You could go through a number of different marriages. So your siblings, spouses, in-law, parents, brothers, wives, anyways, and so that way we can go really broad and make lots of different connections, which increases the score for the participant, but also helps with the tree and adds all these little nooks and crannies and fills out the tree. So it's good for everyone. And it's a lot of fun, because it opens up the possibility of research far and wide. So let's have a look at Mark. Here is Mark's profile. And so he is actually, you can see because of the extension that I have involved, he is actually my cousin, a distant cousin, 22nd cousin. He has, it's a fairly bare profile because he is a living person. And so for living people, much of this can be kept private. So that's one of the advantages of working with WikiTree is you can control the level of privacy that you want to share with the world. And Mark is relatively new to WikiTree, hasn't done a lot of work on WikiTree and beefed up his own profile yet. I suspect he will after this. So it is rather slim at the moment. But one of the things that we can do to profiles is we can add categories to them. They're sort of like tags or keywords that you might be familiar with that concept. And often we use those categories to group them with like other profiles that have some of the same characteristics. For example, if they share locations, born in the same city or town, or buried in the same cemetery, or part of the same group. And on Mark's profile, there is one category, and that is down here, the WikiTree Challenge guest stars. So if I click on that, that'll open up to the WikiTree Challenge guest stars category. And you can see a list of all the guest stars that we've had over the last few years. And many of them you can see are active. They have a little tag on them that tells you they're active and some of their contributions. But what's one of the really neat features about WikiTree is that when you're in a category of any type of category, there will be a button that says My Connections. And if I click on that, that's going to show how I am connected to everyone in that category. So here, of all of those guest stars, a bunch of them are actually cousins or ancestors. None of them are any of my direct ancestors, so they won't show up as ancestors. So all of these people are distant cousins, including, there's Mark Thompson. Remember when we first looked at his profile, it said that I was a distant cousin? Well, there it is right there. And if I click on that relationship button, it'll tell me how we're related. So we're both related. We're both descendants of Marie de Chantillon. But that's not as exciting because you don't really care about me. I'm not the guest star this week. So one of the neat things we can do on WikiTree is we can put anyone else's WikiTree ID in there and see how they are related to this category. So if I type in Mark's WikiTree ID, which is Thompson 102588. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Okay. I've typed it a few times. And I hit go. And then now it is now not my connections, but Mark's connections to the category. And there you can see he is also cousins to a number of different guest stars. And then there's a few down here that he's connected through via some marriages. So for example, his closest cousin is Tim Jansen. So if I click on that relationship, you see that Mark and Tim are 9th cousins once removed, which is very cool. And you can see they're both descendants of
Very cool.
Strong. And he's also close cousins with fellow Canadian Catherine Lake Hogan. Woohoo! They're both 10th cousins from each other. And here's an example down here. See the icon's slightly different. The icon for view relationship comes through a single ancestor. These connections go back and forth from one marriage to another. So if we look at his closest connection, non-biological connection to Jen Brown, you can see there's the path from Mark. And when it changes color, that's because there's a marriage involved. So it goes from Mark and his biological relatives to then this great uncle's wife, and then so that yellow is another series of genealogically related people, and then another husband. Now the neat thing about this, you can follow this pattern, but I love the alternative view, and that shows you the generational patch, and then you can really see people who are in a straight line are all biologically related. So his mother's father's father, and then there's the brother, then there's the wife, and then up and down, and then there we go to Jen. So that is an example of how WikiTree maps out the different connections when they go through one or multiple marriages. So I heard a bleep. I think Mark is trying to get connected. So that is very exciting news for us. Let's see. Is there anything else you'd like me to or want to mention, Azure, about the CC7 or the challenge in general?
No, I think you've got it.
I've got it. Okay. Then Mark is going to get here.
Yeah, I'll add him when he's available. There he is.
Okay. Oh.
All right.
Now he looks like an LP record. With the default avatar was black.
I wish I could say it was anything other than a time zone screw up. I'd like to blame it on technology. My Wi-Fi was down. The dog ate my homework, but I just had the time zone wrong.
Oh no!
I'm so sorry.
That's okay, Mark. Well, you're 3 years, 3 hours, not 3 years, but you're 3 hours a difference, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
that's right.
No, I am in the right time zone.
You're in the right
3 hours ahead. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's just shortly after 9 for you, so you're just waking up. Yeah. But anyways, well, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here. Considering I've been looking forward to this day for like a month, you'd think I would have, I would have triple checked it, but no.
Oh, wait a second. Let me mute myself. Finnegan.
Hello, Finnegan.
Well, it's great to have you here, Mark. We just went over briefly what the WikiTree challenge is. We introduced that whole idea and talked about the CC7. And we just showed your connections to previous WikiTree challenge guest stars.
Oh, me and Tim, we go way back, like literally way back. Oh, and Dave, Randy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I know that tree though.
You know that tree?
I know that tree.
Jedediah. Yeah, you and Tim are the closest. Ninth cousin once removed. And then close by is fellow Canadian Catherine Lake Hogan. You are 10th cousins with her. And that's probably still the relationship with Dave as well, is my guess. Yeah, 10th cousins.
Cool. So so we're actually talking blood relation.
Yes.
Isn't that awesome? That's great. I was figuring it was going to be a meander through marriage, but
well,
actually,
we have some of those. That was this example here with Jen Brown, meandering through a couple marriages.
Yeah,
and that was this graphic that was on the screen when you first arrived. So you can. This is the alternative view, so you can see your direct relatives, and then brothers, wives, and then grandfathers, brothers. Anyway, and that's the meandering path that you would have expected. But no, you were actually related to, directly related. I mean, we're talking for 9th, 10th, 11th.
Yeah.
And you and I, turns out, are 22nd cousins, twice removed.
The 12th, 13th century. Oh my goodness.
I know.
You see, no wonder I get along with you so well.
Exactly. Isn't that wild? Yeah.
Well, and actually, Dave too. I always feel like I'm sitting down with a cousin when I sit down and talk with Dave. So that makes that makes sense too.
Excellent. That's great. So, anyways, we did lots of people worked on your tree, and so there's a little score sheet here that shows the progress. We had 31 active WikiTree members working on it. I'll have to confess right now, I had intended to try and do something, but the little thing like the East Coast Genealogy Conference was smack dab in the middle of it. And that took every ounce of brain power I had to keep that.
And then some, I'm sure. And then some, I'm sure.
And
I was surprised you even made the kickoff.
Oh, yeah. Then by Monday and Tuesday, I had nothing left to give. Sorry.
That's okay.
But we did have people who did have lots to give.
It was awesome.
Fran Rowe is our MVP with 172 points.
Wow.
Followed by,
Crushing.
Stevenson and Fiordalisi, who's here in the chat. I don't know if Fran is or not. Richard Rosenberger. And those four, along with Ambar Diaz, were all bounty hunters for you. So they scored extra points. So in this column here that says bounty points, they scored extra points by connecting your tree. So one set of bounty points was given for the first connection of each of your great-grandparents to existing profiles on the tree, a new connection to some of them, because some of them may have already been connected, but this was adding new connections. None of them were connected before?
No,
My
he
tree was
wasn't connected to the
entirely
tree to
separate.
start.
Oh, wow.
I was
He was
completely.
brand new.
I was
Yeah.
an island hanging out there on the internet.
Way.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that explains the next thing I was going to show you. So that totally makes sense now. And you know what? I do kind of remember you saying that, but it had slipped my mind, as so many things do. So those were those connections. And then there's the others. Did they do the other set of bounty points on Sunday?
Yeah,
Azure?
Celia sends out her selections for brick walls that she finds randomly throughout the branches, and so that's what those 5 are. The bounty hunters: Fran, S. Stevenson, Anne, Richard Rosenberger, and Ambar. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So you can see, so the points are, you get points for adding new profiles, and that would be this second column here. And then the bounty points are on top of that. And then you can also see the number of profiles that were edited and then total edits altogether. So altogether in the week, there were almost 2,500 edits done to profiles, new ones and existing ones on WikiTree for your tree. So if I'm reading this correctly, 471 new profiles added. Is that right, Azure?
Yes. Yep.
Excellent. So we went from, let me
46.
see. So at the start, you only had 46.
Yeah.
And at the end of the profile, you had 762. But WikiTreeers don't always stop when the whistle blows.
I noticed that. I noticed that.
So it's actually
like dedicated researchers can't let the bone go.
Right. So you've got another bonus 20 some. So it's now 785. Let me just check to see if that's still accurate or if it's gone up even one more. Where did your profile go here? There we are.
One of the neatest features, I found many neat features. I was not a WikiTree user before the event began, but one of the very cool features I found was the ability to, say how many CC7s have been added since the last time I checked. That was actually, that proved to be one of my favorite features.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. So that was, anyways, it was very successful, especially considering you came out with just a bare bones tree to start with. One of the things we like to do is we like to compare the distances and how they've changed over time. So often, like at the beginning of a challenge, we'll all, the score sheet automatically records where we were at the starting point. And then by adding new people and new branches, often we close the gap a little bit, sometimes really dramatically. And sometimes if they're well established, then maybe only by one or two, and not everyone gets a little bit closer. There were some dramatic changes on yours, but almost all of them, not all of them, but a lot of them had what you see up here. It's changed from a connection through relatives, which means, through various marriages, to a connection through a common ancestor. So
explain to me what I'm looking at. So the y-axis, this is the connection distance.
Yes, the connection distance.
Yeah, the degree or whatever it is, and then the x-axis is over time. Is that right? Am I getting that?
Yes.
And then the color, the darker color is relatives, and the lighter color is through marriage. Is that right?
Actually, I think it's the other way around. I think the darker color is the relative. Yeah, the darker color is the relatives. The lighter color is.
Oh, there we go. Oh, now I see the legend up at top there. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
So as time marches on, if the bars go down, that means we got closer.
Yeah. So something like this one here, the second one, the connection through a common
yeah, it was always
like,
through the common ancestor.
Yeah. So it looks like someone may have added a closer one, and then maybe that was
it got deleted.
And then got deleted.
I got it. Yeah, okay. Because now I understand how to read it.
Made.
Correction was made, and that does happen. I mean, WikiTreeers are relentless in making sure that the connections are valid. And
I was very impressed as I was kind of I couldn't help but follow a little bit of the tail of the tape, and like I've got some pretty good, like on some of my direct line, like my direct ancestors. I had pretty good information on, but there was some I had a hard time finding with, particularly the ones that were in, other countries, different languages, that kind of stuff. And it was really impressive. Like some people are coming back with, 8, 10, 12, 14 sources, like definitely beyond the reasonably exhaustive search, bar. Right. It was great. Great.
Well, that's what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in many cases, like in mine, for example, if I just shoot down to mine here, we went from being only 20 degrees apart through a relative up to 48 degrees apart through a common ancestor. So the common ancestor is is more distant, right? It's going further back. You can, if you go through relatives, you're taking a lot of shortcuts.
Yeah.
Going across multiple family lines. So if you're on someone's profile, so if someone's watching wants to check, if you're on Mark's profile or anyone's profile, then you go up to the main menu with their name on it, and the connection to me will take you to that shortcut through marriages, and then the relationship to me will only look for direct biological connections. So you can try one or other, and the relationship to me may come back and say we can't find a biological relationship, and then offer up the other option as a choice. So, but anyways, a lot of dramatic. So ours changed a lot. 28 degrees. The number got higher, but the bonus is we know we're cousins now.
Now we're cousins now.
So everyone here who has a light green at the end of their graph are cousins of yours. So you had a lot of cousins working on your challenge.
It was awesome.
And
I loved watching the Discord as they figured it out.
That's right. Yeah. And we all expect to be invited to the next family reunion.
You know what? They're already pretty big.
I can imagine. Thompson might be a popular name or a common.
It was, those early immigrant generations. Back in the early 1800s, out in Ontario. That's it.
Yes. Ontario.
There was that Thompson line. They had a lot of kids for several generations. So the math is definitely works out that way. I think the last family reunion that we had actually in Guelph a couple of years ago was, or last year actually, was I think there was 110, 115 or so. It was you needed a really good camera so that you could zoom in far enough and actually figure out who everybody was. That's how wide the picture was.
Wow. That's cool. Wow. Now, can you use AI to automatically label people?
I did it by hand.
You did it by hand.
I did it by hand.
Is that something that we'll be able to do eventually with AI?
Oh yeah, facial recognition. It's actually pretty good. But you know what? All of the little ones, right? Everybody who's under 14 wasn't at the last family reunion, right? Or and everybody who's under 10 for sure. You can't recognize them anymore. So you gotta, it's like, okay, they're standing in front of my cousin Fred, so I gotta call Fred and make sure I got the kids' names right.
Yes. Yes, that's right. You got to do that. So let's show you some pictures. Graphs.
Please.
So we have we take a snapshot before, and here is, I guess I need to zoom out a little bit. This is this is a little snapshot of your 7 degrees of Mark Thompson at the beginning when you only had 46 connections. So this is, it's supposed to be a circle graph. And so if you can imagine, now your face would be in the middle here, except of course that because you're a private individual, your face, the your image doesn't come through in the app that I built. So
Got it. Got it.
imagine you're
Thank
smiling
you
face
for
in the
being
middle.
privacy aware. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And what I should have done is doctored that and smacked your face there. But I didn't. So pretend it is there.
Okay.
And every circle growing out is 1 degree. So the
Oh, I see. Okay.
and the dark ones are your direct ancestors. So in this original one, most of them are direct ancestors.
Mhm.
And because you have so few, it's hard to see that they're actually circles, but they're,
Mhm.
the dots are equally. So if you were to connect them, if you play connect the dot, you would actually see a series of circles.
Got it.
And you can see the numbers here from the legend. There's only 5 orange ones that are in that 2nd degree, and the ones that were direct ancestors got turned black, or gray. 13, 7, so you only had a handful in each generation. So that's why it looks as it does. But after, it looks much more circular.
That looks very
Woohoo!
circular.
Look at that.
Wow. That
So
is I'm a completist, but that's pretty complete. That's awesome.
that looks pretty nice, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go, 7 degrees, and I put your name there at least. So
Oh, at least, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So there you
That's
go.
cool.
Yeah. So that's what you've got. And now the other thing we've done is we like maps. I think you
Oh,
probably like maps too.
I love maps. Yeah.
So we took one of the things that runs WikiTree or is associated with WikiTree. We have a database that you can query, and it's called WikiTree Plus. And you can query WikiTree Plus for lots of things. So you can query all the profiles that you've created yourself, or you can query all the profiles that were created in a specific challenge, like, for example, the WikiTree challenge for Mark Thompson. Or you can query people who are CC7 away from, this is your user ID. So, or ancestors of Mark Thompson. So here are your ancestors. And then once you query those profiles, there's an option to automatically turn that into a map. And so we've mapped this, and you can see it's color coded by century. And you can also see the migration from birth to death place. So,
that is so cool.
So it looks like you have at least one ancestor from, is that Poland or Germany?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
in this map was from your tree apps.
Right.
From your profile, if you just go to tree apps, there's a selection for WikiTree maps, and it's a live, you can zoom in to a certain area on the map too. So this is just a snapshot of that.
Right. Do you want me to show how to get there right now?
Yes, please. Yeah. Because
Okay.
I was amazed and a little bit overwhelmed by the number of little widgets and apps that are available. I don't think I've seen a quarter of the features that are available.
Yeah, I'm still learning stuff, and I've been
You're still
here
learning.
since 2018. So,
and then we keep adding more and doing more. And, and the month of Hacktoberfest is coming up next week. So we'll be adding even more things then. So that's a hint. So from anyone's profile, and we're starting at yours, Mark, in the menu bar here on the right, there are 3 little icons, and one of them is the tree apps, and that's what this one here is. So when you click on that, it takes you to the tree apps. And the last one you were using, so the last one I was using here was the CC7 views, and we'll come back to that in a sec. But I'm going to click on that and choose a different one, and we're going to go down to the WikiTree Plus Maps app. And then I'm going to hit go, and it's going to load that up. And there it is, the same map that we saw, except that now inside the tree app, as opposed to a static image, it is live, and we can just zoom in. I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to move over to Poland.
Yep.
And if I click on this dot, if I click on the dot, the profile should come up, right?
yeah, on the right.
On the right.
Maybe it's just taking a bit to load.
It could be.
I think there's a lot of profiles that are available underneath that dot.
I think you're right. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bukowska. Chop. Jezernik. There we go.
Yeah, so you can zoom in and out. You can zoom over to England and Canada and really
This
go
is
down
great because you
into-
know what? I was just speaking with my daughter the other day about how this was actually one of my next tasks was to go through and do mapping. Because
go.
I know that particularly in this part of the world, just because it's the same name in 3 different generations doesn't mean it's the same place, and vice versa, right?
Right.
Like the boundaries changed, the names changed, and everything else. So I needed to go through and by generation, by time, make sure I knew where the dot was on the map. The fact that the dot's on the map, this is fantastic. This saved me at least an afternoon.
Excellent.
That's great. That's great.
Good stuff. Okay. So that was your ancestors one, and that's inside the tree apps. And then this one is in WikiTree Plus, which is a separate URL connected to it, where you can do more complex queries like the ones I was talking about. So here we looked for all of your CC7, and you can see, of course, it's a larger number now, 700 and some. And
Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland. Now that's interesting.
No kidding.
Huh.
And lots of people coming from Eastern Europe.
Yeah, Eastern Europe. So the CC7 again, not just direct relatives and cousins, it's also their in-laws and the in-laws of in-laws.
Right, of course, of
right?
course. Yeah.
So people who married other people from.
Oh, in fact, I think I know the Iceland one already. I had There's only one that I can think of, and that's I had a great uncle who died during World War II in a plane crash just off of the coast of Reykjavik.
That could be it.
That is almost certainly.
Okay, that's good. Well, we'll leave that as an exercise to the reader to
exactly
investigate.
Yeah, and so just like the other map, when you're actually in the WikiTree Plus, you can zoom in and click on the dot, and it shows you the profile.
Yeah.
Check it out. You can even make a correction to a location if there needs to be a correction made. Right there. So
Finnegan, come on
it's
back.
really nice.
There we go. Finnegan has returned. Say hi, Finnegan.
Hello, Finnegan. hello, Finnegan Snout.
Yeah, Finnegan Snout. Yeah, that's about. Yeah. If he thinks I have food here, he'll jump up into my lap, which will not be fun. Oh well. You're okay. So there we go. And so 102604 is that Mark's grandfather? Great-grandfather?
Yes. Grandfather.
Yeah. So we did added maps. Now I have to admit I was lazy. I made Azure do the maps this week.
Thank you, Azure.
She did all the work. So the similar map, but starting from your grandfather, then on, this is your mother's side, right?
The maternal grandfather. The maternal grandfather. Yeah.
There we go. And then the next set are all people who are related because of interesting finds. So should we jump to that, or did you want me to show the WikiTree Plus Azure?
Yeah, do you want to show the WikiTree Plus just a little bit?
Sure.
Like the CC7 for him?
Yeah. Okay. So to get to WikiTree Plus, the easiest way is just to type well, for me, the easiest way is to type the URL, because once I start typing PLU, my browser already knows what it is. But it's an easy URL to remember. It's plus.wikitree.com. We'll take you there. But if you're in WikiTree, if you're on WikiTree anywhere and you see this symbol, WikiTree with a plus with a red circle around it, that will also take you there. So let's see.
What's the distinction for me and the listener? What's the distinction between WikiTree and WikiTree Plus, other than it's more awesomer?
More awesome. So where did I open it up? I just lost it. I opened it up somewhere. Well, let me just open up a new one. I've lost too many tabs. You wouldn't have that problem ever, Mark?
No.
Okay. So WikiTree Plus is a site it's connected to WikiTree.
Yep.
It's a separate database.
Yep.
Basically, it's a copy of the WikiTree, the live WikiTree database, but it only has public profiles in it. So any profiles that are privacy protected won't be in here, so you can't query them. So only public profiles are there. But what you can do is you can do all these fancy queries to it, and basically this is the WikiTree Plus website is sort of an interface to that database, that deep database.
Got it. I'm feeling a data warehouse plan here.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Great, thanks.
Yeah, but if you're doing some really tricky research, or you need to get into, you're working on a specific family line or a specific country or a location, and you want to see what kind of profiles are out there, it's a little easier if you can zoom in with these type of queries. So the first part, suggestions, is a feature that WikiTree has automated, so that if there are errors in the data or in how the information is encoded or put in the biography, a suggestion will pop up so that you can fix that. Like someone who's had a child before childbearing age, for example, data errors like that, or formatting errors in the biography. If the formatting doesn't follow the WikiTree or WikiText formatting rules. Most people we jump down to the search area and then search for things there, the criteria. So in the text area for the search, we're going to put, should we do the CC7? We'll just go CC7 equals, and then your 588. We just put your WikiTree ID in, and we can change the maximum profiles to 5,000. And I usually change the page size to maximal. And then we hit get profiles, and it should load a bunch of them. So 770 of the 785 that you have currently right now are public.
Oh, okay.
So they're already in the database and are searchable.
Yep.
And then you see they're listed here. And you could click on any one of them and open up that profile directly. You can see information. There's Gravenhurst, Muskoka. That's just, a short drive away.
Just up the way.
Yep. And you can
also
go ahead.
You can also output, instead of to HTML, you can output to CSV documents. So you can pull it into Excel or Google Sheets or whatever.
Excel.
I do love me a good Excel.
You do love you a good Excel. Yeah, that was an amazing workshop you did, by the way.
Thank you. Doing one again the day after tomorrow. Yeah.
The other thing you can do with this output is if you go all the way to the bottom of the results, there's a group by feature at the bottom of the page of results.
Oh, here
on the right hand side. Yeah.
Okay, come on, scroll down. Oh, this is where going page is going to.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so you can group by birth country, birth region, or there's a lot of different ways to view the data. Yeah.
480 born in Canada.
So,
nice.
This is so cool.
So yeah,
you got an
so just different ways to kind of slice and dice the information.
Paulini, exactly.
Paulini, do you know Paulini?
I know of her. She features very strongly in the Thompson family lore. She is the creator of what we call in my generation the Thompson family spaghetti recipe.
Oh,
but there was a lot of research done into Helen Paulini because she created the spaghetti recipe that we all love because she was from northern Italy.
Oh, in Tuscany.
And it is now, when all Thompsons get together, there shall always be a big pot of spaghetti compliments of Helen Paolini.
Neat.
Thank you, Helen.
Aw, nice.
Wow. Now, she was born in if she was born in 1908, then her birth record should be in Antonati. Like, we should be able to find her Italian records and then add her Italian side, like her ancestors.
She got so much research, because we all went like, why do a bunch of like so tasty potato white Irish folks have like why do we so love spaghetti?
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Helen Paolini.
Nice.
That's
Wow.
funny.
That's kind of neat. Very cool. Yeah.
So at the top
So-
of that list of results, if you go back to the result page, is
Right.
where you can click for the WikiTree plus map view of all those profiles that you just queried.
Uh-oh. I just lost it. I'll hit go profiles
Just
again. Yeah.
just hit get. Oh, you got it on Excel, I think.
Oh, that's right.
You've got it on Excel
I
output.
got it on Excel. Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Good eyes. Yeah. Okay, come on. Yeah. There we go. And there's the map. Just click
Yeah,
on that.
so
Oh, right
there's
there,
the link
and
to
then
the map
everybody-
of that query. Yeah.
And then we can. Okay,
Oh,
so you're going to say the
okay.
name before I click on it. What's your guess of who that is?
Victor Banning.
Banning. James Edgar Victor
James
Banning.
Edgar Victor Banning. Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Excellent. You win a prize.
If I would have known I was going to be tested on my family tree.
Oh, that's so we have one of the things. So that is interesting. Now, I don't know if was he one of the. I don't think he was one of the interesting finds. One of the things that we do is when our WikiTreeers research, and they go far and wide and find all these relatives and relatives of relatives and whatnot, we have them write down interesting finds, interesting things about the people that they have found. And so what I often do is I like to sort of give you a snippet of how they're connected to you. So the first interesting find that we had was this Ralph Henry Garden. And what is interesting about him was that not only was he a farmer, but he owned a plant nursery. And considering his last name, that's kind of funny.
Gardner. Yeah, it's Garden. Exactly.
In fact, he had a newspaper column in the Leader Post from Regina, Saskatchewan. And you can see how
On
he's
gardening. Yeah.
on gardening. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, that's kind of neat. And in fact, if you go to his profile, there is a link to that newspaper gardening, or at least one of the columns.
I never
from
heard that story
newspaper.com.
before. I never heard that story before.
Yeah. Because it's on newspapers.com and didn't copy the image into the profile,
Of
but there is a
course,
link
yeah.
in the sources section.
Oh,
so you
great. I'll look at it. Thank you.
I love that when the last name matches their profession. That's pretty cool. The next one, Angus Mitchell, who is a great grandfather. I think
Mhm.
his son was Harry Hamilton Mitchell.
Mhm.
Had a blacksmith and carriage maker. He had a blacksmith and carriage maker store in Watford, Ontario, and also they were living upstairs, as seen in the newspaper and the tax records. The sad news was in his death record that he had been in a coma from the 10th of March to the 24th from a heart attack. So that was sad.
I knew the story about him being a carriage maker.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a very, very interesting story, but I didn't know about his end.
Yeah, that is sad. Also sticking with the Mitchell line, and Anne Fiordalisi is the one who's found many of these, and she's with us in the chat. She's watching us on YouTube there. Chat, say hi, Anne. Thomas Burton Mitchell, who is a great granduncle, and you can see the connection there. Brother of Harry, he was the mayor of Oshawa.
Oh, cool.
You know that?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
You actually have two mayors in your interesting finds. So he was the mayor of Oshawa.
How far is Oshawa from you, Greg?
Oshawa is a 1-hour drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just down the highway. In fact, my mother-in-law used to live there for a while. Yeah, it's really close. And if the main passport office is really busy in Toronto, then you can go to Oshawa. You can usually get in a little closer, quicker. But anyways, I digress. Hard to believe, I know. So there's a photo from the Toronto Globe and Mail on the 9th of January 1929, where he's posed as the mayor of Oshawa. It reads he won by a majority of votes. The mayoralty. He was also the owner of a drugstore and a druggist. He went to the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Also died of a heart attack, like his parents did. I hope you. There seems to be a theme of heart disease here, so you might check that out.
Always got to pay attention. Exactly. See, that's why I was late. See, what I could have said is I was at the gym taking care of myself.
There you go.
Right? So,
that would have been a perfect excuse.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, the interesting thing is that whole family, the Mitchells.
Yes.
So my great grandfather, also a pharmacist.
Yeah.
And his brother and several of his brothers were also pharmacists. So like pharmacy, and one of my other grandfathers also pharmacists. That generation was very much into pharmacy.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. I think there was like 6 or 7 in that generation. That was a really big occupation.
Wow. Right.
Wow.
Then we have Thomas Joseph Shields, who died suddenly at the residence of his sister, Mrs. Mary Sexton, on New Year's Day. An unaccounted for abrasion on his head prompted a swift coroner's investigation, which found he had died from a stroke.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. Although he has talk about photography,
yes.
like the impact of photos on family lore.
Mm-hmm.
My family loves that photo of him. He just looks like a real dude.
Look at that. Yes, that's great.
Yeah, I can just imagine having a conversation with him when I see him, because he looks like such a hard ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anne's commenting that there's lots of doctors and nurses in your family as well. Yeah. Victor Eustace Coggins, born in Wisconsin, passed away in LA. Had an interesting hobby. Do you know this story?
No, I don't know this story. No.
Okay. At least his hobby lasted for 6 days anyways, until he was caught. He was a banquet crasher. He attended banquets and luncheons at a local hotel. And there's actually a newspaper clipping that talks about it. Again, the link is in the profile. So he got the idea. He happened to he went into the hotel and was by mistaken assigned to a seat at a banquet table by one of the hotel staff. And then he realized, oh, this is a good gig.
It's a good deal.
He kept coming back, 6 days in a row. But unfortunately, the final luncheon he crashed was one that was held for police officers.
Oh, that'll get you.
And he couldn't
fake his way through that
out of that one. He said, "How are you a peace officer? What are you doing at this luncheon?" And that was the wrong one to crash.
Whoops. Yeah, exactly.
So he's 7 degrees away from you, so you can see you go up and then across to Catherine, your great-great-great-grandmother's sister, and then her grandson was the banquet crash.
Like, that's a hard line to know a lot about.
Yeah.
Catherine Mulrooney, my great-great-grandmother,
okay, she
had like 13 sisters.
Oh my Lord.
Wow.
And every one of them had like 10 kids. So like the math just explodes on the Mulrooney line.
Wow.
Yeah. I love like it's like I pick off one of the branches. It becomes like a month-long project every once in a while to try to run it all the way to the present. But there are so many Mulrooney descendants.
Wow.
Yeah.
And any connection to our previous prime minister?
I think 14 or something. Actually, funny story. So there is a line that I have not proven because it's quite long. It's about 14 degrees, I think, to Brian Mulrooney. But I have a living cousin, so I can't name, but I have a living cousin who was married to Brian Mulroney's sister.
Ah,
So like 3.
interesting.
Okay, exactly.
Wow.
Through marriage, like we could have bumped into each other at the family reunion.
That's wild.
If I got invited, I didn't get invited.
Didn't get the invite.
Yeah, exactly.
Got lost in the mail.
Yeah.
Then we have Alfred Wells. Now this one is actually a little bit. Is this no? What does it say? 3. Oh, I know. It says 3 degrees. You'll note there was a bit of a cut and paste job here. He's actually 8 degrees away, so I had to do a little photo editing to show the direct line from you across to your great uncle, and then down through him, through his son's wife's sister's husband is Alfred Wells. Dr. Alfred Wells.
Okay, got it.
Also had an interesting life. He was a plastic surgeon, orthopedic surgeon, and a general surgeon for 24 years at the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto. Or sick
Toronto.
kids,
Oh yeah, sick kids. Yeah.
In 1956, he was appointed chief of surgery, and he kept that post, or at least that title, until he died in 2002. He was also the chief consulate to the Royal Canadian Air Force, which he also kept. Many newspaper articles about his life story, being born in the U.S. to British parents, his college, postgraduate work in England, and then marriage to be a nurse, Lillian Agnes Scott, twin sister to Susanna Ives Scott Mitchell. So that's why the sisters have the same birth year, because they're twin sisters.
Oh,
Did you notice that?
wonderful. No. I think I need to do more research on the Mitchells.
Yeah.
They seemed like they were a going concern.
They were, yeah. So that's kind of cool. And then we're going into the Bannings.
Oh yeah.
The from the Banning side that you had the Reykjavik connection, right?
Yeah, that's right.
This is going
Yeah,
a little bit earlier than World War.
The Reykjavik, the person who passed away in Reykjavik,
Right.
great uncle Vic, that was my grandmother's brother.
Marianne Genevieve.
Yep.
So this Banning, way back, 7 degrees back, direct ancestor, was a cabinet maker in Lyme, Connecticut. And among his creations were window sashes, sleighs, carts, cartwheels, and chairs. I didn't look in the. I'm not sure where she got the. That was Fran, our MVP, on that. And another Banning, Burton Banning, won the. This is one of those. This must have been from a newspaper article in the events of the day or whatever. Burton Banning won the umbrella chanced off at the social conducted by the Independent Council Daughters of America, D of A. And she's thinking it's the runner-up prize to whoever won the lotto prize at the gathering, the social gathering. Won an umbrella.
You know what? That's such a cool phrase. Chanced off.
Yes.
That's such a cool turn of phrase that I've never heard that phrase before. Right?
No.
Yeah. Chanced off.
Eh?
Yeah. So the fun thing about the Banning line is not yet proved because I haven't traced every line back, but I think the Banning line is the deepest line in North America.
Like of yours?
If I go back all lines,
out of all lines,
all direct ancestors that I have, I think the Banning line is the deepest line.
Oh wow!
Like in North America, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's like 1670 or something. That's the earliest That's the earliest point of emigration for any of my line.
Now, because of our French connection, if we can find the direct French, because you might have a French ancestor from the founding of Quebec, so that
exactly, that would be like
hundreds too.
Exactly, yeah.
So we can check that out.
We're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to work that one out and prove it all the way.
We will,
yeah,
for sure. I haven't actually investigated. Well, we saw that one connection way back in 1600s, but anyways, we'll do that afterwards.
Yes, exactly.
So along with interesting finds, then we do see if there's any notables, and you actually had a couple notables that popped up. So here's one, Thomas Foster, and he is that other mayor I talked about. So he's 9 degrees away from you. So you can see the connection is going up to your great-great-grandfather, Thomas Shields, and then his, so that would be his
Sister Lucy. Yeah.
sister's daughter's husband's father-in-law, basically.
Yeah.
Or not father-in-law, uncle, I guess.
Uncle. Yeah.
Thomas Foster was the mayor of Toronto.
Cool. Huh, right on.
Yeah. From 1925 to 1927. He was a great traveler, and on one of his trips, he was inspired by the Taj Mahal. And in 1935 and 36, he had a memorial temple constructed on a hill between Leaksdale and Uxbridge, Ontario, which is in between where I am and Toronto. So it's, on the outskirts of Toronto, for his family at the cost of $200,000 back in the 30s. The temple was designed by Foster and was inspired by the Taj Mahal architecture.
Wow.
Yeah. And apparently the Duchess of Kent's brother is buried there, which is interesting.
Wow.
That's Foster. And then the other one is Martha Ruth Owler Tracy, was an American journalist and writer. And she was in 1891 to 95. She was the foreign correspondent for the Boston Herald. Early journalism.
I'm actually, so when you get in like 3 or 4 times through marriage, a lot of the times like, I didn't know that one. But in this one, I've actually got, well, I think I've talked with you before, Greg. I do a lot of letters research. We've got a large collection of letters across our family. I've actually got letters from back and forth from Robert Nicholas Owlers in my family collection. So I've actually gotten pretty close to that connection. With letters that are in the family archive. Yeah.
That is neat.
Awesome.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Because the letter collector in our family was Mary Eleanor Agnes, Aunt Eleanor.
Right there.
My great Aunt Eleanor, but she was the letter collector. So everything that she got, like she collected letters from her ancestors, her mom and her dad and such, but also everybody who sent letters to her across her long life ended up in the big tickle trunk that became the Thompson Letters Project. Yeah.
Neat. Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool indeed. I wanted to show you a few other things. So when you're in the tree apps, so we went in and we showed you the WikiTree Plus maps in the tree apps. The one that had popped up first is this one here, CC7 views. And so there are different versions or different options you can view. I think what's the default? The hierarchy is the default, or the table form, right?
Table, yeah.
Is the default.
Yeah, that one.
You first go in and it shows everyone who's in your CC7 and it's sorted by degree. So you're right at the top, and then your first degree connections are your father, mother, brother.
And all the family lines.
And the family lines, and then second degrees and whatnot. So these are all those people, the 785 people that are connected, or actually 784. So one must be private, I guess. Or one. But the neat thing is you can actually zoom in. So if you wanted to find just those who were born in Canada, you could just type Canada.
I feel the spreadsheet coming on.
Yeah. And in fact, there is the option to look at that. Export to Excel.
Love it. Love it.
So there's and of course
great.
There's stats. You can check on the stats. The year ranges and whatnot, average age of marriage, lifespan, that sort of thing. And then I added this circles graph to it, which is basically the same thing that we showed you those graphs at the beginning, right? But I've added a few more options to this. So instead of just the plain circles, you can actually put people's initials in it, or by first name, or if you really want to go nuts, you could click on all and you get their lifespan. And then if you want to just take a random profile, just close your eyes and just click anywhere, and you'll see. Today we're going to check out Patrick Feeney, and then on there you can hit this little symbol here, and it'll show you exactly the path of use Patrick Feeney.
Oh, that is so neat.
So
all of the little gizmos that you guys have come up with over the years for, like, I mean, clearly it's like there's a lot of gizmos to learn, but the gizmos are there. Like, there's so many things that you can do at WikiTree that you just can't do anywhere else. Like, it's going to take a year to figure out all of the little widgets.
We'll wait for you.
Well, just the ability to be able to get stuff out into Excel is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
like
right.
just to be able to get the information out to do your own analysis. That's just fantastic.
Yeah. The other, there's lots of here. So I'd recommend you should check it out. There is a built-in fan chart. Well, not built-in. I programmed it. But there it is.
I tell you, this is one of my favorite features of the whole website. When I was, I gave my eldest daughter, who is visiting this week, my family's obviously very excited to see to see what's happened through this, and this was essentially the talking chart for the whole conversation, and she's like, for the first time, I think I get it, right? Right, just because there's like it's you can so get lost in the traditional tree view, like just because there's like it can take you a year or two to wrap your head around the tree when you've got thousands of people in the tree, and you got to work it to figure it out. But the fan chart and the really nicely laid out colors associated with the fan chart, right? Like the application of colors. Boy, the programmer must have just done a fantastic job. It's just really easy to interpret, right? And to explain. Yeah, so this is great.
Well, I did have some help with the colors, because my initial, I like to say, because I'm not colorblind, but I like to say heart of color, so distinguishing some colors. So my favorite color palette is garish.
Oh yeah.
Really bright greens and really bright yellows and blues and oranges, and stuff, so they stand out, so I can tell them easily from. But someone said, "How about you tone it down, like some pastels, maybe?"
Yeah, exactly.
Less.
You lean towards very accessible colors. Right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And of course, then you probably checked out the settings, and there's lots of different options in here.
Awesome.
Just being able to see like the DNA.
I never noticed.
Yes, the DNA. Let me show you.
Yeah, that's actually one of the I have not yet come close to diving into the DNA stuff, but one of the features that you turned on that I didn't realize was even there was you can get the marriage bars in there too. I never saw the marriage bars feature. That's really neat. It was actually one of the things I was like, how do I get that? Like, how do I see marriages in a fan chart?
So for that, you go to the dates, and there you can choose. You can turn on and off any of the ones. So, so I've got the show the marriage dates on. I've got it so it blends into the background. If I turn that off, then the marriage bars are in white, so they pop out more. But some people like them to
blend a bit. Yeah, no background color. Yeah, I like that. That's great.
So the other thing I had gone in, I turned on the highlights for the X chromosome inheritance, so you can see the X chromosome inheritance path.
That's great.
And if I add a couple generations, you can see how it
becomes really relevant as you go a little farther back.
Right. And the other thing is, because WikiTree understands, and this program also understands how the X chromosome works. If you click on, let's see, if I click on this is Eliza. I don't know how many we will have here, but this is her. Let's see, I think that's the descendant. So if I click on that symbol, it'll open up in a new tab the X chromosome path from this person who I'd chosen. I thought it was an Eliza, but maybe it's Tekla. And these are all the descendants from her who could have on the X line.
On the X line. Candidate.
There you are.
Candidate Xers. That's wonderful.
And you're the only one that looks like who has tested with GenMatch, but if someone else had, you could click on that and then add 2 GenMatch tests, and then compare them, and that'll take you out to GenMatch if you're logged in. Show that comparisons.
Very cool.
So lots of things to investigate, Mark.
Yeah. The DNA integration, I've just barely scratched the surface. All I've done at this point is load the data, but now I've got to actually try to figure out how it all works. So I'll be giving you a call on that one, Greg.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Super. That's great.
Yeah, and this line, like, this was probably one of the most exciting parts for me if you go back to the fan chart.
Yeah, let's go back to, I guess there we are.
This was probably one of the most exciting parts for me was how far back, because my mother's paternal line, the Polish line, that is it's the immigrant generation is my great grandparents, her grandparents in the yellow there,
Yeah.
And so Polish, Ukrainian, Russian, Latin, depending upon which generation you're reading about. So to call it an intimidating area to research. Well, the other thing too is because of the region of Poland that they're in, which is Galicia, the names change almost every generation at some level with the changing of the borders because of wars and everything else. Austria. The very first census record I ever found in my life, like when I was a baby genealogist, was my grandfather's on that line, and like my mom's dad, and I grew up knowing that he was from Poland. I grew up believing that he was from Poland, and in his on his census record, it said that he was born in Russia, and I was confused, right? And then I found other ones, and they were born in Austria. And then I found other ones, and they were born in Poland. And and I'm like, again, a baby genealogist, I'm like, everybody's lying to me. Everything that I know is wrong. And it just turns out everybody was right at a different point in time. Right? So this is a really intimidating line to research. But the volunteers who joined the challenge on this line specialize in this little corner of Poland, Galicia. And so they spoke the various languages, at least at the genealogy spoke. I think some of them actually spoke Polish. And they were able to find the records that actually existed from, not available at the Ancestry, right? And connect this back. And again, 8, 10, 12 sources for every fact. I'm just so grateful because this is everybody that I find who's actually got this part of the tree in their tree. It's all sourced from somebody else. In other words, family lore that's been copied around, but isn't sourced. So I was setting myself up for a year project some year to do the things that I would have to do and to get, I got like a decade head start with the challenge. So thank you, WikiTree, and thank you all of the volunteers who are listening who researched this line. I'm forever grateful, and I can't wait to dive into it and wrap my head around it. Now that I've got the skeleton of the family tree kind of laid out, the bare bones of it, now I can actually start to put some stories on that branch, which is fabulous.
Excellent. Great. Well, thank you very much, Mark. Thank you for sharing your story with us and letting us work on your family tree. It was fun for us. And Azure, I'm going to let you close off because you were actually able to work on the tree and with the challengers. Oh, I was goofing off, being lazy and all.
Well, and I think we're at over an hour now, so I think we should probably go ahead and wrap up. I don't really have anything else really to share. We did have a lot of fun. As always in the Discord chat, being able to just quickly talk back and forth and share things was great. And it was great to have you there, Mark, to join us.
It was a lot of fun.
Answering questions. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. Again, thank you everybody for joining us. And the next up events are coming up on Sunday, or actually on Saturday, we have the roundup with Greg and his crew. On Sunday, we have the noon member Q&A. On Monday, we have Tech Talk. And Tuesday, we have the Link Builders Cubicle Challenge. So Cubicle Party. So tune in for those or join those. We'd love to have you. And we'll see everybody else around the tree. Stay tuned to find out what the next challenge will be. Thank you, Mark. Bye.
Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.